All right, you guys, what's up? So today I'm going to tell you how I price lawn care. So basically how it starts is I get an email or a phone call asking for a free estimate or quote, something like that. And then I'll reply to them asking for their first name, a good phone number to contact them, and then what their address is. And then if they want to be there, you can set up a date, but I highly recommend you just let them know, like, hey, you do not need to be there. I've done this a million times. I just need to quickly walk through the property, take out the numbers, and then I can call you back or I can email you and let you know exactly what the price is going to be per hour. And then also for me, I only do weeklies right now. So it might be different for you if you do a bi-weekly, but a good rule of thumb is about 20% more than what a bi-weekly or what a weekly would be. So just tack on like that 20% because your grass is a little bit taller sometimes. Your edges are going to be a little bit more difficult to, get them done. So you might have to add a little bit more time in there. Also, if they want you to bag their grass clippings, that might be different too. You might have to add a charge. I don't know what your guys' dump fees or how much you pay to dump the grass clippings. So you might have to figure that part out, but I'm going to give you the best information I can based off of what I have done and what works for me. So quickly, just going to walk through a property. Like this is one of the properties that I have. You want to just go through and like try to get a time range of how long you're going to be using the string trimmer and then how long you're going to be on the mower. So for a property just like this one, I'm going to be on my string trimmer for, I don't know, a solid 20 minutes, I'd say. All right, so a couple of things that you could do to figure this thing out is, like, for me, if this thing's never been edged before, I might have to go through on the first time and really work the edges in. So they might take me like 3 times as long as normal. But typically I'll just come through and I'll hit it with the string trimmer. I'll just flip edge it. But for a property like this, I'm looking at how many trees, if they have fences, gates, how long it's going to take me. And then on a property like this, I know it's going to take me roughly 20 minutes because the amount of trees that are on the property, and then also how you have to go around the building, and then also all the flip edging. This one has a big driveway, a huge sidewalk that goes right here, and one that goes all the way over there to that tree. So there's a lot of flip edging. This is a pretty small yard though. When it comes to mowing it, it takes 10 minutes to mow this property, which is what I pretty much guessed it would be when I gave this person a quote. So if you have an hourly rate in mind and you don't know what your hourly rate is or what you want to be at for an hourly rate, I suggest you go onto my YouTube channel and you watch the video of how to come up with your hourly rate, because it's a great video. It's full of information that you guys are going to use. There's no way somebody can look at you and say, well, you got to charge $60 an hour or $150 an acre or $2 a minute. You can't go by that. Watch my video and I will explain it into detail. But once you figure out your hourly rate, that's when you come onto the property and you figure out how long it's going to take you to get a good job done. And we're talking about string trimming, the edging, and the blowing and the mowing. So like pretty much your basic stuff. There might be some extra things in there that like maybe you got to pick up some sprinklers or move a trampoline or whatever it may be. But the very first thing I look at is accessibility. Do I have room to park on the street? Can I back into the driveway? Can I turn around? Also, do they have a back gate? Can I get my mower in there? Do I have to use a push mower? Because it makes a huge difference when you can't use your big mower and you have to park your big mower after you just got done using it and then pull out your push mower. That takes time, a couple minutes here and a couple minutes there. Pretty soon you're adding on another 10-15 minutes to a property. So this one, I can use my big mower for the whole thing, and then string trimming, like I said, takes me 20 minutes, and then when I'm on the mower, it takes me another 10 minutes. So we're already at 30 minutes right there. And then when you go through and you got to blow everything off, you're adding another 5 minutes probably on top of that. So we're at 35 minutes so far. So I quoted this one about 40 minutes. And the reason why it probably only takes me about 35 minutes, because I just got done with it today, and it only took me about 36 minutes, somewhere around there. I might be forgetting something or missing a small, there is some, you might have to put gas in the weed whacker or gas in the blower or whatever it may be. Also, if you can use the lawnmower to blow the grass clippings off the driveways and the sidewalks, that might save you, a little bit of time, but it's not going to save you that much time. You're talking like a minute probably. But do not do it if it's gonna look crappy. Like if you have to get the leaf blower out, then get the leaf blower out. Don't, you're trying to get a premium cut, you guys, so make sure you do it the best that you can. But yeah, this one takes me on average about 40 minutes because you never know when you have to put string line inside of your string trimmer. You never know when you got to fuel it up, or you get a phone call, or you know, whatever it may be. So this one would be what, 50 bucks, which is what I quoted him anyway. So we're pretty close to being right on the money. So this is a $50 property for me. I could probably go down to about 45 and still hit that hourly rate of, you know, 65. But like I said, things happen. A couple other things you want to look at is, do they irrigate? Because if they are watering their grass, it is going to be a lot thicker, so you're going to have a lot, you know, probably the edges are probably going to be a little bit more. Also, another thing to think about is, like, this is a very old sidewalk. It hasn't been caulked in a long time, so all these cracks grow weeds, which adds probably a good, you know, 3-4 minutes to my time. So those are some other things that you want to look at as well. Like I said, if you got to move a trampoline, you got to pick up toys, anything like that. I'm not saying you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if that's something that you offer, like bagging, if you got to add like an extra $10 because you're bagging the grass clippings, that might be something you have to look into. But a lot of the properties are so different in so many different ways. I have a few properties that there's literally no edging whatsoever and no blowing. Like, it's just mowing and string trimming. But it is a big property and there's a lot to string trim. So keep that in mind. I don't know if you guys are dedicated edgers, if you don't use your string trimmer or flip edging at all, if you just straight up edge. That's, you know, something you got to think about, because you got to put the string trimmer back, then you got to get the edger out, and then you got to get going on the edger. But, you know, to each his own, whatever you guys want to do. So if you have, so like I said, that property takes me 40 minutes. I charge him $50 a week for that property. Yeah, and also another great thing is if you can add value to the client, like if you start offering other jobs, like your leaf removals, and maybe if you fix sprinkler heads for them once in a while, if you weed and thatch and aerate and all that good stuff, maybe do some mulch jobs, that's really nice. I have a lot of almost every single one of my clients is already signed up for a fall cleanup, and I'm dipping my toes into the snow removal. I'm definitely going to make a video about that, you guys. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing when it comes to snow removal, but I have more questions than I do answers. But I've been thinking about it and like contemplating it, and it literally, like last year, it snowed maybe 4-5 times in 4 months. I'm gonna go mow some more grass, guys, so stay tuned. I'll see you guys when I get there. Well, you guys, as soon as I got off the recorder with you guys, somebody had called me. Of course, that's always how it happens. And it would have been a nice phone call to record so you guys could hear. But so he called me. I answered the phone. I said, Dwarf Lawn Care, this is Brian. How can I help you? And he said, hi, my name is Bill. I was looking to see if you guys were still adding any lawn care clients to your routes, or what did you say, list this year? And as soon as he said that, I was like, are you talking about leaf cleanups? And he said, well, ultimately, yes, I'm going to need a leaf cleanup, you know, towards the end of November or in the middle of November. That's typically when all my leaves fall. The question that came to mind, I mean, I had to ask. It's probably a little unprofessional to ask, but I asked him. I said, hey, it is a little late in the season. Do you mind me asking, like, why are you looking for lawn care right now? And he said, yeah, no problem. I actually just, you know, my work schedule just changed a little bit, and now I'm doing 2 days on the road, so I'm kind of finding it hard to get the mowing done. And I was like, oh, okay, not a problem. I told him, I said, yeah, I'm always looking for new clients, and definitely leaf cleanups. I can get your information, and I can definitely get you a free estimate. And I was driving, and I know a lot of people say it's super unprofessional, and you know, you should never text, but you know, it's 2024, almost 2025. Everybody texts. One thing I can tell you is I do plan on stopping the texting. Once I have somebody answering the phone for me and doing all my paperwork and all that stuff, once I get a secretary, I'm not texting anymore. But right now, I'm still a small business. I can handle, you know, texting people every now and again. And a lot of people find it very convenient. So I just told them, I said, hey, it's very unprofessional, but would it be all right if you could just text me? Because I'm driving right now. Could you just text me your name and your address, and I'll get you an estimate today? And he was just like, yeah, absolutely, man. No problem. I totally understand. I want you to be safe. I don't want you writing stuff down while you're driving. So he was extremely open and honest. And so I was too. So right off the bat, great connection. Seemed like a good guy. So I was like, dude, I'm just going to get you a quote, get this figured out. So I'm actually going to go look at his property today, and I'm going to text him, and I'm I'm going to ask him if I can record. So that'd be great for the video. For you guys can actually see firsthand how I do everything step by step by step. And I can promise you I'm probably doing some things wrong, and that's where you guys come into play. That's the whole reason why I started this YouTube channel, is so that we can give and take information from each other. And you guys have been a wonderful audience that gives me tons of information, and I absolutely appreciate it, and I love it to death. So in today's video, I want you guys to comment what you think I did wrong. What do you think I should do? How do you think I should, you know, do this, that, or the other? There's no wrong answers, you guys. We just need to brainstorm and get this together. When it comes to lawn care, it really is all over the place. Some people are charging $20 and they have all their bills down pack. And then there's some people that are charging $100 and have no idea how to manage their money whatsoever. So I am going to finish up Vince's property. Those of you guys that have probably seen Vince's property, I have done this lawn like a million times for you guys, and I've recorded quite a bit of it as well. So I used to charge Vince $60 to mow his property. He does have a small backyard that I have to use the push mower with. So that takes me a solid, 10 minutes just to use that push mower, and then it takes me roughly 8 minutes or so with my big mower on his front yard. So we'll just round it up and say it takes about 20 minutes to mow his property. And then it also takes a solid 15 minutes to weed whack his property. And he only has a small little paved driveway, so it's very easy to edge. And then that's the only thing that gets blown off that. And he has a small little section on his front porch. So when you got 35 minutes into it, plus we'll add another 5 minutes to blow it all off. So we're looking at about 40 minutes to do his entire property. And I used to charge him $60 because it would take a little bit longer here and there because you got to get the push mower out and you got to get in the backyard and then you got to put it back. And he also used to have a bunch of these little wooden posts in his front yard that I did show you guys on a video. It used to be a pain because there was like 6 of them, so we'd have to weed whack around every single one of them, and it also made it a pretty big pain to mow around them and mow circles around them and get in between all of them and all that stuff. So that did add like a couple minutes to both the mowing and the string trimming. So I'm going to get out, get this property mowed, and then the next time you guys see me, I'm probably going to be heading to that property and taking a look at it, and then we could walk through and kind of give you guys a real time of how I look at a property. See ya. All right, you guys, so I am here at the new property. The guy just called me. He hasn't responded yet, and I haven't asked for permission to record his property, so I'm not going to. I always ask for permission first before recording on anybody's property, regardless if I'm standing on the street, in a public, whatever. I just don't want to piss people off for no reason. So, a couple things I can tell you why I'm here right now, though. He does have a big driveway. It's very wide. It's not very long. He does have a back gate. I can see it right now, so I can very easily get my mower in the backyard. So, and also he's in a wonderful neighborhood right next to a couple other clients I have. So he's already looking very, very good. We had a very good phone call. He's in a great neighborhood. I can park on his street. It's not a busy street, super easy. His yard looks spectacular also, and so do a bunch of other yards around him. So that is great. We're off to a great start. So now what I have to do, so I went over the basics. I can get in the backyard, stuff like that. So now what I want to do is I want to walk the property, and I want to, in my mind, I want to picture, okay, how long are we going to be on this mower? How long are we going to be on the string trimmer? Do we have stuff in the backyard that needs to be moved, or is there cause for concern? You guys, don't be afraid to ask questions to your clients. For instance, if they have patio furniture that's like in the middle of the yard, like they have lawn chairs in the middle of the yard, like ask them like, hey, are those something that I'm going to have to move every single time when I'm here to mow? Don't try to be, a snob about it, but just try to get the information, because that is going to take you time. If you have to move a table and like 2 or 3 or 4 chairs around a campfire pit or whatever it may be, if the driveway is jam-packed with like a camper, if there's a boat in the yard like all the time, like those are all things that you're going to want to ask about and also take a look at. But right here, driveway's wide open. It's in the middle of the day. It's 1 o'clock, which is normal. It's typical, but you know, sometimes people have cars that they're working on. They're in their yard. I mean, there's stuff that, like, there's across the street, there's a trailer, like in this dude's yard. Like, that's going to be a pain to weed whack around, but you never know. That might only be there for like this week. It might be a rental, whatever it may be. Just ask questions, just be thorough. That way there you can get it priced accordingly, and you know, you're off to a good start. Also, this guy already wants a leaf cleanup, and I can tell you right now, it's going to be a monster leaf cleanup. His yard is small, but there are huge trees all around him. It's going to be a big one. He does have a large gate, so I will be able to get a lot of it. His backyard's going to be ridiculous. There's 3 big old pine trees back there. So that's something you also need to keep in mind too, is like, he might ask for a leaf price too. So, you know, it'd be nice to have that in mind as well. But I can tell you right now, just from like what I'm looking at, we are talking about 15 minutes on the string trimmer at least. And then also we're looking at least probably 10 minutes on the mower, if that. Maybe 8 to 10 minutes on the mower, and then we're gonna have to blow off the entire driveway. It's pretty big. He does have a back porch, he already told me, so we got a back porch we also have to blow off as well. So we're talking about 5 minutes on the blower, 10 minutes on the mower, and then about 15 minutes on the string trimmer. So we're already at 30 minutes on the entire property. Yeah, keep that in mind. He does have a bunch of bushes and landscaping and stuff too. I'm gonna go out there and take a better look at it, and then come back and give you guys what my final opinion is gonna be. So just hold tight, I'll be right back. All right, so scratch that. We're gonna be probably closer to 20-25 minutes on the string trimmer, so we're gonna say 25. And then the blowing is also on there, so that's gonna be 30 minutes alone. And then on the mower, we're probably gonna be about 15, I'd say about 10-15 minutes. So altogether, you're looking at about 45. And this is why. So there's landscaping all over this guy's yard. His entire backyard, from the very corner when you're looking at it from the street all the way through, it's almost like a horseshoe. It's all mulch. There's no edging at all. So you can go right up to it with the deck of the mower, and you don't actually have to weed whack that. But there's landscaping all over the place, you guys. So this is going to be one of those ones where you have to be very careful not blowing a bunch of grass clippings into his mulch beds. All the way around his house, he has little tiny white rocks. He's got rock beds all over the place. Those ones in the front yard all have edging, so that's all going to need to be string trimmed. And also, on the very front of his yard, there's a big pine tree, but the branches are like, I mean, they're 6 feet out from the very bottom. So there's a huge spot that has to be just completely weed whipped all the way around the property. A lot of tight spots that I can't really get into with my mower. So a lot of string trimming in the front yard, like a ton. There's like little tiny things that you have to go around with the string trimmer. My mower's not going to fit in between them. And then also, I don't know why, I kind of investigated a little bit, but there's a huge divot in his front yard. It's almost like a big hole, like a giant hole that I can't even get nowhere near with my mower. I mean, it's good. It's like 1.5 feet, 2 feet down. So I'm gonna have to string trim that whole entire hole and the entire outside around it. And it's also positioned in a really weird spot to where I can't get closer to the house. Like, I can't go between the hole and the house with my mower. So I got to string trim all of that too. So it's really a pain in the butt in the front yard. There's gonna be a bunch of string trimming. That's why I said about 20-25 minutes if I had to guess. And I'm pretty good at this, so I'd say about 25 minutes with the string trimmer, and then, like I said, 5 minutes probably with the blower. There is a big backyard patio, but that doesn't take but maybe 20-25 seconds to blow that off. So we're gonna say 5 minutes with the blower. So we're at 30 minutes, and then like I said, the mowing is gonna be somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, because I'm gonna have to open the gate and then also close the gate as well. And like, it's just gonna be interesting with the mower. But I have such a large mower, and like I said, this yard is not going to take very long whatsoever. String trimming is going to be the most difficult part, definitely, on this property, which it typically is, but you want to keep that in mind. Also, I didn't know he had so much mulch and so many beds, and all, like, he's got bushes and landscaping like crazy. I don't think he said anything on the phone about me trimming those up. I think he takes care of those. But I will tell you guys right now, that's going to be a ton of leaves and a whole bunch of beds. So it's going to be, his leaf cleanup is going to be gnarly. We're probably talking, I don't know, probably 4 hours for a leaf cleanup. So I will have a price in mind if he asks me about the leaf cleanup, but for now, I mean, it's looking gnarly. There's acorns all over the yard. He's got tons of pine trees, lots of pine needles. So it's going to be a big property. I'm thinking about pricing it at somewhere around $50 a week for him, because that's right around like where I'm looking at for price wise. Plus, like I said, he's in a great neighborhood. And he's already near some of my other clients. So I think $50 a week would be a good price for him on this one. And I think he's going to like that too. And then I already have the price in mind for the leaf cleanup, depending on how he wants to do it, because it did sound like he wanted to do a double cleanup. So sometimes people just get one big cleanup towards the end of the season. They're like, all right, we'll do one big cleanup. Sometimes people break it up into two. They're like, all right, it's getting a little bad. Let's do one now, and then let's wait another week or so, or 2 weeks, and we'll do another one. There's also people out there that do like the whole month of November, or like the last couple of weeks of October, and then into November they'll just double their price of what a weekly cut would be, and they're just cleaning up the leaves as they go. Also, that's also something you guys can do as well. Just remember to try to explain that to the client why you're doubling the price, because they don't, obviously they're going to ask like, what are you doing? And then you tell them like, I'm doubling the price now for the next few weeks, and then after like 4 or 5 weeks it's going to end up being this much amount of money, instead of me just telling you like in November, like I'm going to do one cleanup for this much money. So it ends up evening out. And then, I mean, you're also taking care of the leaves while you're there on the property all the way up until the end of the season anyway. But yeah, so got a lot of stuff done today. I still got 2 more yards I need to go mow. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.